You mob. You fellas, yeah, yous. If you mob trying to help us, Aboriginal people, you got to do it our way, blackfellow way, you know? With story. Come with me, I'll show you. This is the story of some good friends of mine, Adam and Audrey. You see, Adam and Audrey had to leave their own communities and move to Port Augusta. Adam was sick. He needed dialysis treatment that he could not get back home in his community where he had all his family support. This was a big change for Adam and Audrey as they moved to the city to set up a new home. The couple had arranged to initially stay at Lakeview Transitional Accommodation in a nice little unit. Whilst it wasn't a problem just yet, Adam and Audrey struggled to understand the expectation and rules about living in their new temporary home. The staff at Lakeview explained the need to keep the unit clean and tidy. They also explained that family and friends were not allowed to come and live with them while they were in this unit. Whilst Adam and Audrey really didn't understand why they were given specific rules in their own home, they decided to do their best, as they did not expect to be at Lakeview for a long time. The staff at Lakeview explained that Adam and Audrey could only stay for 12 weeks and that they need to find more permanent accommodation. To do this, they will need to make an appointment to speak with a local non-government service that would help them find another house.
Me and my husband, we come down from Memley.
Yep.
We want a house.
Yep.
The couple made an appointment and upon arrival at the office explained their situation and need for a house to live in. Adam and Audrey have a long chat with a support person, a nice young woman named Cara. They talk about their housing options and the process of being housed. They agree that Cara and the couple will meet each week to prepare for the housing until it becomes available. So sure enough, Cara drops by each week at Lakeview to discuss in detail all the aspects of what the housing tenancy will mean. She tells them about the bond, rent needing to be paid, keeping the property clean and not disturbing the neighbours. Audrey would listen and nod her head, but she was far too excited about having her own place to understand all the information. And after a few more weeks, Cara rings to inform the pair that a place is ready and available for them to occupy.
True, they rang up.
Plans are made, discussions are had, and the preparations go underway. Details include sourcing a bond and saving up the rent in advance to move in. Adam and Audrey sign up their tenancy agreement, receive the keys to their new house, and move in. The couple become quite happy and enjoy settling in. Cara tries to visit them regularly to support them and to make sure their tenancy works. 4 weeks pass by and some members of Adam's family, they arrived from Memley. With the couple's consent, they decide to stay for a while, even though it makes the house overcrowded. When the landlord finds out, he explains that the visitors must find their own house to live in. But Adam and Audrey ignore the warning signs and let their family stay. After all, family's family, right? But all the people cooped up together can create a lot of sound, and the neighbours around the house began to complain and reported all the noises. You see, the family would stay up all night. They would have people coming and going, making a loud racket. And there was a big old noisy ute that would rattle and rev, always waking up the poor neighbours. It's not long before the landlord has had enough, and he tells Adam and Audrey they have breached their lease, that the visitors must leave, and that the late noise must stop. Unfortunately, Adam and Audrey refused to send their family home, It was their home after all, they thought. They let their family stay, but tried to make an effort to be more quiet when it gets late. But it doesn't seem to work. Reports continue to be received, and the landlord gives the family written information saying that the neighbours might try to evict them for disturbing the peace and privacy. Adam and Audrey do not understand what the papers mean, but they know enough to figure out their visitors must leave. A few slow days pass, and the visitors from Memley return home to their community. The neighbours stop complaining. It was difficult to say goodbye to their family. Adam and Audrey were finding it hard to be away from their homeland and their country. Having family around eased the pain and provided them with the sense of community they were missing. Two weeks later, Adam and Audrey receive a notice of house inspection. The landlord wants to know the house is tidy and clean. This is a new experience for the pair, and naturally, they don't know what it all means. At the arranged date and time, the landlord comes to the property. He knocks on the door, enters, and moves through each room. He makes special consideration to ask permission before entering.
Come in. Good for the inspection. You don't mind if I have a look around there? There you go. There's a bit of a mess in here, a bit of a dog breakfast.
No broom.
No broom.
Yeah.
I'll get you a broom. There's a few more bloody holes in here than there was last time. What's going on?
Adam's family.
Is that right? Can I have a look in this room?
When the tour is over, the landlord indicates to the family that the property is not in acceptable condition. He brings attention to the general lack of cleanliness. There are grubby walls, grimy floors, spilt food attracting mice and cockroaches. He is very unimpressed. He gives them 7 days to fix the problems, or they risk losing the house. When the landlord returns, very little has changed, and the family are informed they are in breach of their tenancy, which means they might get kicked out. The two main reasons for the breach of the tenancy are that the house is too messy and not in a satisfactory condition, and because the rent payments have stopped. They are a few weeks behind in paying the landlord money. Arrangements are put into place to catch up the rent and clean up the property. Adam and Audrey, now feeling the pressure and not wanting to lose their home, honour the agreement. And so, after much hard work, they clean the house and the follow-up inspection just scrapes through.
Okay, so I'm passing it, but I'd really like to see if that broom's used now you've got it, and possibly Adam, you might be able to get it to the walls, right? So we'll see how you go next.
Cara tries to visit more regularly now, having heard of the problems Adam and Audrey were having, and on one visit she is informed of several holes in the wall. Adam explains to her that they had a nephew staying with them for a while. He became angry when there was no food to eat, so he punched a hole in the wall. Once again, the property was in very poor condition. When the landlord found out, he was quite angry, so he indicated to Adam and Audrey that an application for a hearing with the Residential Tenancy Tribunal has been lodged for breach of tenancy. Adam and Audrey have no idea at all what this means.
I'll see you in court.
3 weeks later, the family receives a letter indicating they must attend the RTD hearing at the courthouse. The two grow very nervous and upset. They fear that because it's at the courthouse, they may go to jail for having done something wrong.
This letters just explaining that
But Kara's there for them and explains it all in a way that makes more sense so they can understand what will happen and why they are going to the tribunal. This settles Adam and Audrey, but they are still very nervous. The big day arrives and Adam and Audrey find their way to the courthouse. At the tribunal hearing, the family are confronted with language and concepts they do not understand. They feel very shame and do not speak, but Kara is there and speaks on their behalf. She lets everyone know how daunting this may be to Adam and Audrey and does her best to negotiate an agreement that is endorsed by the tribunal officer.
Please place your hand on the Bible. State your full name.
Adam Wonga.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
This is the matter between Jones and Wonga for the property situated at 4 Lock Road in Port Augusta. We have today a hearing for vacant possession in relation to damage caused at the property. Is there still damage at the residential premises at this stage?
Yes.
Yep, right. Well, in relation to the vacant possession application, I was wondering if you could let me know the tenants would like to stay at the property?
Yes, they do wish to stay
Or
there.
to continue the tenancy on? Yep. In that case, can you tell me how the breach will be remedied?
We've put a few more supports in place for Adam and Audrey, and they have a lot better understanding of what is required of them living in the property now. They are willing to pay for the holes in the walls and the repair of the window. So we're getting some contractors out to the property, and then they've agreed to a payment plan to repay for the damages that have
Right,
that are
so
in the
you're
property.
assisting them with that process?
Yeah, yes, we will.
Excellent, okay. Given that, and the evidence before me, I've taken it all into account and have decided that the tenancy can be reinstated on this occasion and that the tenants can stay in the premises, but only if the repairs are carried out.
Yes, the repairs will be done within the next week, and they have a lot better understanding now.
Failure to have those repairs carried out will result in the landlord being able to make an application directly to the tribunal without the landlord first serving a Form 2 notice. Okay, do you understand yet?
Yes,
Excellent, okay.
Thank you.
I'll make the order accordingly, thank you.
thank you.
And that will conclude proceedings today, thank you.
Adam and Audrey didn't have the money to fix the damage in the flat, so Kara discussed with them the possibility of repaying the cost over a period of time through regular deduction from their Centrelink income. The couple understood the importance of getting the repairs done and were happy to repay the cost as quickly as was possible. And sure enough, the hole in the wall is repaired. Having faced the residential tenancy tribunal, Adam and Audrey now understood the seriousness of the tenancies and the obligations to obey the rules. They worked hard to keep the house clean. They told their families and visitors that they could not stay overnight at the house, and they made sure that the rent was paid on time. Adam and Audrey knew that the landlord could still have them removed from the house if they ignored these important rules. Hello everyone. It's been a few months now and Adam and Audrey are really starting to settle in. No one's perfect, but they're really finding their way. Adam's treatment's working, getting that good, they're even thinking about going back to Mimley for a vacation.
Yes. Hey, look here.
Hey, yeah, whatever. Hey.
Okay, well that's me, but just remember, a healthy house is just as important as a healthy Aboriginal. Thank you. See ya.
We're going to put a
Hey, Russ. Yeah. You got any damper?
Oh, that's good. Hang, Ruby.